Doctor,
Doctor.
we got some things to discuss.
Yes.
This is episode 2 of Secret Societies.
Secret societies.
Do you want to start with 09A or the Hellfire Club?
Let's do the Hellfire Club.
That's what I was leaning towards.
Yeah.
First, I have a little protein here. Still waiting on a sponsorship. Any day now.
This brain gum is like falling apart in my mouth.
I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah. It's like just disintegrating into.
And it kind of tastes funny.
Kind of weird.
It is kind of weird. So the Hellfire Club.
The Hellfire Club.
Have you heard of it before you did the research?
I had heard of it because, mostly because of the Hellfire Caves, are a series of caves that were dug out in the 1700s, specifically for this. Well, they said that they were digging it out because it's chalk, and so they were digging out the chalk to make a road. But they ended up digging like these tunnels and caves system, and they had these their little Hellfire Club down inside of there. So I had heard of those because they're notoriously very haunted.
Yes.
I guess. So yeah, I've seen videos of like taps and a bunch of people online going and doing paranormal investigator. It's in the vein of what we watch.
Yeah, I've actually found recently, like, there's a lot of places like that are super popular in the paranormal field that I've never fucking heard of.
Oh, you'd never heard of the Hellfire?
Well, I'd heard of the Hellfire Club, firstly from X-Men, because it's a secret society in the X-Men comics. And then, obviously, Stranger Things. But other than that, I knew it was kind of like an old secret society, but I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a rabbit hole.
Yeah. So in the research that I looked up, there was the Hellfire Club. It was actually kind of a conglomeration of a couple of different clubs that labeled themselves the Hellfire Club. And they did a lot of weird things.
A lot of evil things, I'll say.
Yeah, looking at it, so the first rendition of this is like the early 1700s.
1719 by Philip Wharton.
Yes. This is the first club. Oh, it's written down right there.
Yeah, somebody put that there.
Philip Wharton started it in 1719 as the first iteration of the Hellfire Club. And this club was mostly like kind of people that had a little bit of money but liked to like gamble and shit like that, gamble and drink. And those things were kind of seen as not so savory things to do as a gentleman of the 1700s. So they would have these secret clubs that they would go to and do these things at.
Yeah, what I found really interesting about the first iteration of the club is that they treated men and women as equals.
Yes.
Which was, for that time, kind of unheard of.
Yeah.
But it was gambling and debauchery and a lot of political talk and back alley deals and things like that. It was not that much different than what I imagine it's like to be in the lunchroom of Congress.
Yeah, except for the whole, like, women and men are equal thing.
Well, they are more so now than they ever have. But, yeah, so King George at the time in 1721 was like, hey, no, we can't have that.
Yeah.
You're having fun,
noise, dude.
And it's like, consenting adults doing things that they want to do. Nah, can't do that.
Yeah. And I was not invited, fuck you.
Fucketh you with. So, Francis Dashwood created a new Hellfire Club. And that's where shit gets fucking weird.
Yeah.
Every time I hear the name Francis, I think of the movie Legend with Tom Hardy. And you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
The scene where, like, the the crazy brother decides to come out to his brother's girlfriend. He's, I'm a homosexual, Francis. So I think of it, Francis.
Whenever I hear the name Francis, I think of Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. Francis.
Or Deadpool. Where's Francis?
What a weird name. You don't hear that name too often anymore, do you?
No, and usually the people that are named Francis go by Frank.
Yeah, yeah.
But you
To
don't.
be frank, I'd probably do the same thing.
I would too. Frank's a cool name.
Yeah,
Frank Castle.
yeah.
Well, he's a Francis. They just call him Frank.
Yeah, I would definitely go by Frank. So Francis Dashwood, who was this rich kid, and he really did not like to be told what he can and can't do as being, a person with a lot of money.
As rich kids tend to do.
Yeah. And so he kind of started his own thing. He was actually a member of a few different secret societies at the time. But he found them to be childish, because a lot of those things were like going out and pranking people. Like 1700s pranks.
I'm Francis Dashwood, and you're watching Punked.
And this is Jackass. Jackass.
This is the Donkey Show.
So yeah, he so at the time the church was a big part of like telling you what you could do, what morality guides you to do, and he was kind of against being governed by the church morality, and so he joined these different groups and then found them to be adolescent to his liking. So he started his own group, and it started out more so along these same lines of like gambling and drinking and this secret club to go and do these things, and it turned into a whole lot more.
Yeah, it started out as, fun and debauchery and piety and all that, and anti-Christian views, and just turned into just the wackiest shit.
Yeah.
Rituals and sacrifice and yeah, one of my favorite things was that they always left one chair open for the devil.
For the devil. Yeah, there are rumors that one night there was a guy there that was playing cards.
Oh, I love this one.
And a stranger showed up to the caves, I guess.
Hey guys, play cards?
What are you guys doing in there? You guys, what is that, sex? You guys playing cards? Yeah, smells like orgy in here.
Hey, is that sandwich guy?
Lord Sandwich?
The old sandwich. Hey, we owe that guy a big debt.
Yeah.
Even though he's a fucking monster.
Yeah. I imagine that a 1700s orgy would probably not smell very good.
That's always the thing I think about.
Yeah.
Like I was watching Sisu 2. Have you seen the first one?
No. No.
It's about
Maybe.
this Finnish soldier. He was like tasked with killing Nazis or Russians or whatever, and his family was murdered, so he's just like was this whole villain to these bad guys or whatever, because he'd just go in and wholesale take out squads. But he's kind of like retired, and he finds gold on his property, and he's trying to get the gold to the bank. And the whole movie the guy doesn't talk, But these Nazis, he runs into these Nazis who try to steal his gold, and he fucking murders all of them. It's actually a really fun movie to watch.
Yeah, I think you were telling me about it, and I haven't watched it.
But I watched the sequel on Netflix, and there's this the scene where he's like getting tortured and shit, and then he's like walking through this train car that has all these sleeping Russians, and I just imagine like that's gotta stink so bad. Because for one, they don't wear like traditional socks; they wear like the wraps, and they don't shower very often, and it just probably smells like farts and feet and body odor and just grossness.
Smells like wide open ass in there.
just. And every time I watch like a period movie, I'm like, I bet she stinks so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Don't go down on her, gross.
Maybe they just like grew their nose hairs extra thick.
I don't think that would stop it.
I don't know. Anyways, I guess that's a matter of taste, really. Maybe they enjoyed the smell. Maybe it was a turn on.
Maybe they had a hot spring in there.
Hopefully.
Because every time they would snatch up one of these peasant people.
A water bucket with soap and a sponge or something.
I don't know. I think by the time you just get so drunk, you're probably not going to care.
True.
That's what these guys did.
Yeah. There were, initiates were like encouraged to imbibe heavily in the alcohol. And one of the signature cocktails that old Dashwood would make was a mixture of brandy and sulfur.
Yes.
And he called it brimstone. Which is weird. You think that would probably taste like fucking shit.
I don't know, because when you smell sulfur, it's very like effervescent, so you can taste it on your tongue too, and it's not pleasant.
No. Tastes like farts.
Do you think he just did it as like part of his punking ritual?
Probably.
He's just like, it's brimstone, you know, like hell. If you don't drink it, you're not cool.
You're part of the Hellfire Club.
And all the dudes are like, yeah, I got it.
So a lot of the people that were initiated into this club were like known as a 2-bottle man or a 3-bottle man, because that's how many bottles of wine they would drink at night. And so along with that, there's like 12 members who are the head members of this Hellfire Club, and then, you know, all their initiates. It's almost like a fraternity. And so I do think that a lot of the stuff that was going on was maybe kind of like fraternal hazing and shit like that.
Yeah.
Which is like, he was trying to get away from like being childish, but that's like, dude, that's the most childish shit ever.
Yeah, hazing protocols in any organization is pretty childish.
Yeah.
Yeah, we even stopped doing them at work.
Mostly. Yeah.
You got to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I find it's a little more rewarding for me to encourage heavily people that you're getting better. That sucks so bad.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I've kind of latched onto a phrase with newer people to say, as far as operators go, you're one of them. It's nice and neutral.
Yeah.
It's not one or the other.
Yeah.
You can't take me to HR for it.
You can take offense to it if you want.
Yeah.
But it's not a false statement.
It is not.
And it's not degrading.
So one of the interesting stories that I came across, and I forgot to write the lady's name down, but she would go to a lot of these meetings in the caves at Montpelier Hill. And she was like the ritual queen. She would even bring her own totems and things like that. So they kind of treated her as like the resident witch. And eventually she did this summoning ritual. And I didn't really find out what happened to it, but they basically told her, yeah, maybe you shouldn't come back. And then some time had passed, and she did come back. But when she came back, she did another ritual. She like basically kind of walked in and owned the joint. Did this ritual, which allegedly summoned the devil himself, and then she left and never came back. But she was often seen in the woods, barefoot in the snow and in the cold and shit like that, and doing rituals out in the woods. But that one just kind of struck me because it was like, again, they were kind of treating men and women as equals, but this was like the one person that they were kind of scared of was this woman who was just like fully into the rituals.
Oh yeah, I didn't finish that story.
Oh yeah.
So they are playing cards, and the guys, like, this newcomer comes in, they welcome him in, and he, of course, because he's got money to spend, and they don't know who he is. He's wearing a cloak, and so he sits down and plays cards, and at one point, one of the guys he's playing cards with drops something on the floor. Either it's a coin or a card, and he bends down to pick it up, and he looks under the table, and he sees the newcomer, his feet on the ground, and they're cloven hooves.
Cloven hooves.
And so he like jumps up and well, he holds it in for as long as he can, and then eventually he like jumps up and accuses the guy of being the devil himself, and then the guy like throws his cape off, and it is the devil, and starts laughing hysterically, and then curses them, and then poofs, I guess. Whether that really happened, I don't know. Maybe.
There was another story of a man who would regularly come to play, and he always wore a mask with his cloak up, and he wore gloves and everything else, so you couldn't tell his identity at all. And one of the members of the Hellfire Club was like mocking him, and finally tried to reach over and rip his mask off, and they kind of broke him up. And then that guy who tried to rip the mask off, he was like a judge, I think. He was found in his study hanged.
I believe that story for sure.
Yeah, don't touch my mask, motherfucker.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a secret society, of course. So a lot of these stories are kind of stories that have been passed down through like word of mouth. There was a person who like wrote down records of like when the meetings were and what they did at these meetings, but when he died, he burned all of the records, so there wasn't anything surviving. So, you know, a lot of these secret society stories are exactly that, stories. And whether they were being pushed, like the narrative was being pushed by members of the society to both instill fear and or intrigue for people to want to join, we don't know.
Well, the other side of that too is that a lot of the people that were involved in their rituals were just poor people. It was, you know, like daughters of seamstresses and farmhands and things like that.
Right.
And a lot of those people that weren't sacrificed or killed would leave, and then they would go try to tell what they saw. One guy in particular escaped. You know, he was taken into one of these caves, and there was a ritual performed, and he escaped somehow, and he got out and he told somebody, they showed me the truth, they showed me that I am the power, which was a very interesting tale. Like, what did you mean by that? That guy died shortly thereafter of a heart attack, I think. I know he died, but I'm not 100% sure. The
Sounds like poison to me.
Sounds like he got hit by the heart attack gun.
Yeah.
They were just like, motherfucker.
Yeah, motherfucker.
What? Very interesting. The thing that I found the most interesting about the Hellfire Club was some of the attendees. One of them being Benjamin Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin.
One of our forefathers here in America. And that created an interesting parallel where this secret club of the wealthy and powerful are performing rituals, including sex-based rituals with poor people's kids especially. And Benjamin Franklin was part of it. Kind of makes you wonder, did he take what he learned there, brought it over to America, and the things that we're learning with like the Epstein and all that, has that been going on that long?
I was thinking the same thing. Like, was it? I was going to draw the parallel of like, was this secret club the same setup as like Epstein being used or using this club and getting people to do these things, and then like, especially people who are influential in the government and like Parliament at the time. Getting them into this group and then like having dirt on them so that they wouldn't be able to, so that you have control.
Yeah.
It seems to me like that's probably what might have been happening there also. But yeah, Benjamin Franklin ended up, so he served as like a foreign minister of the Philadelphia group at the time, and he went to England and then stayed there and befriended Francis Dashwood, and I think he ended up living in his guest house there at the estate where the caves are at. What is it, Mount Pelier? Montpelier Hill. And eventually they found 9 dead bodies that were buried in by that little house that he was staying at.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, what was going on there, Benji?
More importantly, did you base our current society or the society that was formed in America on what you learned there? Like, because I hate the idea that maybe George Washington was doing some evil shit.
Yeah.
Like that's our grandpapa, you know.
But yeah, I don't know if it's something that is ingrained into the government, or if it's just a sideline, like a back alley way of gaining dirt on these influential people so that you can maintain control of, like, make them do whatever you want them to do. Even though you're not in the spotlight of being the leader, you are the one in control.
Yeah. Just like Epstein.
Yeah.
Eggstein.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that Epstein was in control of anything, but the people who were in control of him were...
Yeah. Israel. Sorry. There's a reason we pay for everything for Israel, and that's it. Yeah, I definitely think that is the through line, is having these secret societies that have this secret power within government that government rules don't apply to. Mm. But because I got dirt on you, you're going to vote the way I want you to vote.
Yeah.
And I have no doubt that that's how our entire system works.
Yeah.
I mean, especially learning the things we've learned in the past couple of years of, especially within our own society, within our own government. Now, I think the real question is, did they actually perform rituals that worked? Did they actually summon the devil?
Yeah, I've kind of thought that too. Like, I know that they were trying to perform these things, and there's a long history of belief of sexual magic. You can look at it in the teachings of Aleister Crowley, who thought that you could summon different energies through the use of sexual magic and doing certain sexual acts and having intent for, like, summoning powers and energies. perhaps these people were doing the same thing. I don't know.
Have you ever heard of the O method in manifestation?
No.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
When you're having an O, that's when you want to say what it is that you want. Allegedly, if you do it 3 times, you'll manifest it.
Really?
Yeah, I gotta try it, but I'm gonna.
I can knock that out today.
I knocked that out in 1 set. 6 minutes later, I'm a millionaire.
Yeah. Whoa! Look, we just hit the account.
You just finish up and there's a knock at your door. Publishers Clearinghouse.
Balloons and shit. You're just like, hold on.
Get hand sanitizer. If it works, it works, man.
It's worth a shot.
But that's straight in line of sexual magic, I think.
Yeah.
Now, personally, I think in order to accept, if they summon the devil, you have to first believe in the devil, and I don't really believe in the devil, so I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I think that there's probably a few figures within the 12 who are actually like trying to do this and kind of have knowledge about it. But I think for the most part, the people who are participating in this are just doing it because they're gross.
I tend to believe the same thing. There's, out of the 12, there's probably 4 of them that are like, we're going to summon the devil and we're going to get superpowers and all that. Then there's probably 4 who are just in there for the political stuff. And then there's 4 who just want to do dirty stuff.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my initial thing, was like, I think that Dashwood was probably really pushing for something, an ulterior motive than what most of the other people were doing there.
The dirt?
Yeah, and the other people were just happy to participate.
Yeah.
They want to go and eat a sandwich.
A sandwich. Put meat between my bread so I don't have to get up.
Yeah.
And I'll sit here and piss in my bucket.
That's... oh, shit in my pants. That's one of the stories that was derived from this whole Hellfire Club, was that one of the guys was so enthralled with his card game and he didn't want to leave. And so like his servants that were attending to him thought that he might grow faint because he'd been playing cards for so long, that they brought him bread and meats, and he didn't want to put his hand down, so he just like picked up the meat with the 2 slices of bread and started eating it that way, thus creating the sandwich.
And his name was Sandwich.
Yes, the Lord of Sandwich.
So I guess something good came out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I like a good sandwich.
I do too.
I don't know about just fucking moldy bread and fucking...
A piece of like smoked meat.
Yeah.
That is,
actually, that does not sound too bad.
throw some cheese on it.
Yeah.
I'm sold. Except for the mold part.
Yeah, I'm sure the rich people didn't have moldy bread. And maybe they did. Maybe it was just how bread was.
Well, you gotta imagine you're in a cave.
Yeah.
It's probably like damp in there. Bread goes moldy pretty quick.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
But there's some, maybe if the bacteria is cultured, it's penicillin.
Maybe that's how they stayed healthy. That and the brandy and sulfur.
I'd have to look it up, but I'm curious if there's any like health benefits to drinking sulfur.
Yeah, I can't imagine it tastes good.
No.
I would think that it's probably not good for you.
Imagine like having a glass of brandy and you're sipping it out of a straw while you're sniffing some smelling salts. It's probably like that.
Yeah.
You're just, whoa! Awful.
That does sound not very good.
That's probably how they stayed awake so long. Drinking that much brandy and wine and just like...
Yeah. Start falling asleep. Go to the orgy room.
Falling asleep mid-orgy. Somebody just like passes some sulfur by your nostrils. Ooh, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I mean... Yeah, that cave gotta smell. All that sulfur and orgy going on.
Ugh. Especially with just like poor farm kids and shit that don't wash very often.
Yeah, part of the whole thing too was that the men would dress like monks, and then the women would dress like nuns.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would come down this aisle to the entrance of the cave, and everybody's dressed like monks and then nuns, and then all of a sudden the nuns would like take off their habits and be totally naked, and then go in with the monks and do some sex.
Well, even all the dudes, a lot of them would be butt-ass naked too.
Yeah.
Just walking around naked as a jaybird in a cave. It's probably cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. So let's go back to the rituals. I didn't find a whole lot in terms of like what they were doing besides just trying to summon the devil. But I'm still very interested on what kind of rituals were being performed. Was there human sacrifice? Was there, what do you call it? Trying to open a portal, which is one I kind of delved into, and it seemed like that's something they were trying to do. But that's where my mind kind of got curious, because like I was saying, I don't believe in the devil, but what if there is an alternate reality where the devil exists? So opening a portal in this cave system to a reality where the devil exists, and he just comes over and plays cards for a little bit and goes back to his reality.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again, I think that it has to go to like devil or interdimensional being. It's just, classified as a devil because it's a malevolent entity. I don't know, maybe they were...
What if it's just like a shape-shifting alien who just wants to play cards and hang out, so he just transforms into what they perceive as the devil just so he can hang out and play cards and bang farmhands?
Yeah. I mean, Anunnaki came down for that reason, or they fell for that reason,
It's true.
Maybe there's a bunch of Nephilim running around the old Montpelier Hill.
Maybe. There's just something about human women vagina that aliens and shit love. I get it.
Like, I'm going to go to the future where they have showers.
I'm going to go to the 21st century.
A little more pleasant on the old nostrils. I guess, well, a lot of aliens don't really have nostrils, do they?
Do they have the little slits?
Yeah.
Some of them. They just look like Voldemort with big eyes. Little slit for a mouth.
Yeah, I mean,
can you imagine being like some poor girl, and you end up in this ritual, and you're just like in a haze, and you wake up, and there's just a little gray on top of you, just going to Pound Town. You're like, what the fuck?
maybe that's where a lot of the alien stuff comes from,
I'm not ruling it out.
Yeah.
I mean,
you get all that brandy and sulfur in your belly, and you can't really tell the difference between it's dark, there's flame flickers dancing on the walls and people in cloaks and shit,
and everything stinks.
Yeah, and everything smells like sulfur and ass.
Did I imagine that, or I get it, maybe that was the trick.
Maybe that was the trick. Sounds like a good time. For an alien, I mean, like, I'd go.
I'd give it a whirl. Yeah. Why not?
You're like, in my spaceship, like UFO. Yeah, fuck it, dude. Put this bitch in park.
Fuck. Hold on, they expect me to be like the devil. And put my cloven hoof boots on. And...
Where'd that fucking crimson cloak go?
Maybe it really was just some dude in like a costume.
Maybe. And so there was like a tale of one guy that went in there, and he was one of the hazing things that happened. They told him not to go down this certain corridor because there was something down there. And whether he got lost or he was like, he wanted to see for himself what was going on. And this guy, I guess they didn't believe was like, they didn't believe that his whole heart was into this, what they were doing, trying to summon the devil. They thought he was kind of an imposter, the other members did. And so they told him not to go to this certain area, and so he went down to this certain area and found a box, like a large crate that had all these symbols and stuff carved into it. And he went and opened the box, and this creature ended up jumping out at him, and so he tried to run away, and the creature jumped on his back and was attacking him and kind of trying to bite him and pawing at him, and finally he was able to throw this thing off of him, and he ran around the corner, and the other members were sitting there laughing at him, and he was saying that they had summoned the devil. Well, it turned out that it was a baboon that they had dressed up like the devil and put in this box because they knew that he was going to go and look at it because they told him not to. So it was a hazing ritual. Whether that happened or not, we don't really know because it's just a story.
See, that's where I gotta admit, I think a lot of this Hellfire stuff is horseshit. Like the devil, I think, was just a dude dressed as the devil, just so that they could keep the myth alive, and they could get more members in and get them to do heinous things to get more dirt on them, because like, oh shit, the devil actually came.
Yeah.
Or in this case, he thinks this creature is a demonic creature, but really it's, like you said, a baboon. Whereas in that period of time in England, or in Ireland more appropriately, they probably never even heard of a fucking baboon. So you probably looked at it and thought it was an actual demon.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of it is manufactured to perpetuate the lie that there are these devil worshippers, but really it's just a ploy to get them to do fucked up shit and have witnesses, people who work within the government or they're wealthy and powerful that are believable, that are going to be like, hey, listen, people are going to believe me if I say you banged a little farmhand,
Yeah.
Like, I've got dirt on you, now you're going to do what I want.
Yeah.
But the whole thing just seems manufactured to me.
Yeah. And really, if they are like if it really is just like this group of people that like to get together and have orgies or whatever, what better way to deter people from coming to like investigate what you're doing by putting out tales of like the devil, so people are going to be scared to come and approach the cave first of all, and or go inside and look around because they've heard the stories of like devils and weird stuff, satanic stuff going on there, so they're going to be afraid to go in. Or it's going to attract the kind of people that they want.
Exactly.
To come over and take a look.
Yeah.
And then they say, oh, come inside to our sulfur orgy.
Yeah, it's all the the wealthy and powerful that they're trying to kind of lure out with these stories.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, okay, you're a devil worshiper, you're exactly who we want. Or you're into the mystic arts, you're exactly who we want. And, you're a judge or you work in parliament or whatever. Like, the whole thing just doesn't have any like real mysticism background for me. It seems like the whole thing was a political play.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that it, like we said, it was kind of a tool that these people were using to try to gain some kind of foothold on control of the parliament and the people in their area that had influence on stuff. Of course, these people are all super fucking rich, like stupid fucking rich people. So yeah, I think that's mostly what it was.
Yeah, and that kind of comes back to like when you reach a certain amount of wealth, and you've had so many experiences in life, like think of a modern day really wealthy guy. He's probably banged supermodels and actresses and everything else. Like eventually some of these people, they tend to get bored and they move on to something else, and that's what leads them into doing awful shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because enough is never enough. Mm-hmm. Not for humans anyway. So yeah, it really is just like the precursor. It is the fucking prototype to the Epstein files.
Yeah.
And Pizzagate and everything else.
Yeah.
The way I see it. I tend to think, I want to hope it's a little less pedophile related, but it probably is.
Probably. Yeah, probably. I mean, one of their big things was the sacrifice of virgins. There was a lot of speculation on whether that meant actually sacrificing them or sacrificing their virginity to the club. But that was a big thing, and at that time, it was probably 13, 14-year-old kids.
Yeah. Well, and that's been part of a lot of these secret societies have a lot to do with the sex magic, and a lot of that ritualistically is having sex in front of a group of people, mm-hmm. which is extended to a ton of different secret societies, not just this one or really any of them. It's pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, like I was talking about in the last one, Angelina Jolie talks about it. Basically getting banged in front in a room full of dudes while they're all watching.
Yeah.
It's fucking gross.
Yeah, it's...
Wait, sorry, I got to interrupt you because when you said virgin, it clicked of a Chuck Norris fact that I learned. So, Chuck Norris died. When he died, all Muslim terrorism stopped. Did you know that?
No.
Because now that he's gone to heaven, there's no more virgins.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I had to throw that out there. Because I haven't heard a new one in so long that it was like, oh my God!
Yeah.
That one made me fucking giggle.
Yeah, I went down, when he died, I went down a rabbit hole of on Reddit of all the Chuck Norris shit. Pretty funny. I didn't see that one though.
Yeah, I was going to do a whole warm-up thing where we just told each other Chuck Norris facts for a little bit and just got the laughs out. But I didn't get around to writing them down. Maybe on the next episode we'll just try it from memory.
I'm the worst. I don't have any.
But that's okay. I'm the fucking best.
Yeah. The only one I remember is the one that since he just passed away, it was actually he died 20 years ago. Death was just too afraid to tell him.
But yeah, so I can safely say for myself, there's nothing mystical about this particular secret society.
No.
It's debaucherous. It is gross.
Yeah.
Things they were doing were guaranteed not consensual.
Yeah.
They're consensual within the realm of, I'm sure, a lot of their subjects were paid, but that's not really consent.
Yeah. Now, there were, stories of, so whenever they would have these, sex parties, it was a monogamous thing, so you would stay with one partner for the whole night. And a lot of times it was an incestual type thing, so you would try to get somebody that is related to you to come to one of these parties and then be your escort for the night. And Dashwood himself chose his stepmother for a lot of these things, and she was his partner in all these orgies and incestual type things.
So not only was he the prototype for Epstein, he was also the prototype for 90% of the titles on the hub.
Yeah.
Stepmom.
Yes. I don't know if they had washing machines back then, but...
Well, you could still get stuck under the bed, I guess.
I got stuck under the ox's crane. I'm stuck in this ox yoke.
Fuck. What's that cabinet called? Nah, it doesn't matter. You got stuck in the cabinet.
Yeah.
But I was trying to use like the proper English name and I can't think of it.
Me neither.
I got the smooth brain going on.
Totally, dude. It's early. I had like 3 beers last night. Oh my gosh.
I know, I had a couple drinks last night myself after not having any drinks for quite a while, and I'm just like, ugh, why did I do that?
Yeah.
But I remember how much I enjoyed it at the time.
Yeah. I mean, we're off work, you know, you got a day. Fuck it, dude. I'll have a drink.
Yeah. I've been behaving on my nutrition and training and everything else. I was like, yeah, I'm going to treat myself. And that's the wrong thing to treat myself to. I should have just got a cheesecake.
Yeah.
Anyway. So.
Cheeseburger cake.
Ooh.
The old Flying Dutchman in the shape of a cake, a big ass Flying Dutchman.
Send it.
Anyways, yeah, I think that we even the head devil worshiper himself, Dashwood, later in life, gave a bunch of money to the church to put a new gold cap on top of the church building in his area. So I mean, even later in life, it seemed like he was still wanting to participate in the religion of the time.
Which almost makes you wonder if he was like a double agent. Like he set this thing up to get power and influence and dirt on all these wealthy and powerful people, but he did it because the church tasked him to do it. So now the church has power over these people.
Maybe. They've got all the power. Yeah, I mean, could it be possible?
Seems, I think that's the fucking solve right there.
Yeah.
The church manufactured the Hellfire Club so that they could have power and influence within Parliament. Fucking solved it.
Solved it.
Yeah.
You know, that was like half an hour.
I wasn't keeping time, but yeah.
Solved it.
Yeah. This one was actually kind of hard to talk about because there's so many anecdotal stories and things like that it was just kind of gonna, I knew it was gonna be more of the speculation of what's the actual purpose of the club. Because again, you have to believe in the devil to believe that they summon the devil. Mm-hmm. And the mental gymnastics that I had to go through to say they're opening a portal and bringing in another reality's version of the devil was just a bridge too far for me. But the power vacuum that they're creating by having the dirt on everybody, that was easily defined.
Yeah, I think that it's a tactic that has worked before and is still utilized to this day.
It's fucking working right now. I can tell you one thing with certainty now. Anytime I see somebody wearing a Hellfire Club shirt, you know, like the one from Stranger Things, I'm going to look at them different.
Yeah.
Like, are you a sick fuck?
Do you know what that is?
Yeah. Do you know what that really is? Don't give me some D&D X-Men bullshit.
Oh, there's dungeons.
There is dungeons.
And people were a dragon. Dragging these old-ass 1700 nuts all over your face.
Dragging their ass out of a cave after they've been fucking plowed over. Oh, God, I'm so sore.
Dragging a bucket of soapy water down there to fucking wash up.
Dragging your blown out ass cheeks around. Gross.
So yeah, I think that we can call that one solved.
Yeah, I think so too.
Of course, don't take our word for it. If you have a different rendition of the Hellfire Club, believe that.
Believe it. Share it with us.
Yeah, share it with us. Let us know how wrong we are. Or not, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd like to share your opinion, I'm willing to listen. If you want to keep it to yourself, that's fine too. Either way, I feel like we're correct on this one.
Me too. Me too.
There's nothing mystical about it. It's the whole thing's just a setup.
Yeah. And a lot of people fall for it, and are falling for it now.
Yeah. A lot of people got their O-rings blown out in the name of power.
Oh, yeah.
Grody.
Yeah.
That's
I think that is such an interesting thing, though, the whole, like, sex magic thing.
I think there is something to it. I haven't looked into it enough to, like, create my own belief system in it, but I think there is something to it. Because of all the species on this planet, there's only a handful that have sex for non-procreative reasons. Like, we are the number one species that has sex for fun.
Yeah.
Most every other creature it's just for procreation. It's just to spawn new life. But we do it because it's fun.
I think us and greater apes also do it for pleasure.
For the lulz.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I want to say there was 4, and I can't remember the rest of them off the top of my head because it's not important to me. I'm not going to go watch baboons fuck.
Yeah. I wonder if they're having sex for fun, or they're just, like, trying to make new babies, or... Rewind.
Anyway, let's call that one Salt.
Salt.
Doctor.
Doctor.
Later, Tater.
Bye.